Today was an absolute killer day on the NASDAQ. The reason why is I don't even know. There was a lot of decent setups today that you could have taken. It wasn't no news Monday, so I wasn't even trading on my fundeds. I was just trading on evals, but today was absolutely killer. I'm gonna recap 4 different trades for you today that you could have taken. I think 3 of them were more valid. 2 of them specifically, but let's jump straight into this and hopefully you guys will see exactly how you could have captured some of these trades. So here are the 4 different trades. Now, let me go ahead and delete some of these here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so this is the first one that we'll cover. But first of all, let's start at the daily time frame like we always do. Okay, on the daily time frame, what you see here is we have a set of equal highs up here, which we've been talking about each day. Then we have these equal highs right here, which are pretty damn important. It's a set of 1, 2, 3, 4 equal highs. So quad highs. Sorry if you can't see it. My bad. Little zoomed in here. Face cam's in the way. We have these quad highs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 highs. So that's a really strong draw on liquidity. Last week we had this daily fair value gap. We came down, respected the CE, and moved higher. So we look like we're going to be bullish up to these quadruple highs. If we go down into the 4-hour time frame, here, we still have these equal highs up here, right? But we also have equal lows down here. So you can see, boom, boom, right here. Those are equal lows. So we have equal highs above us, and relative equal lows below us, okay? This right here is a beautiful 4-hour rejection block. Right now I'm just going over the high time frame stuff I'm marking out on my charts and taking note of, right? I would like to be bullish, but since we have these equal lows down here, I'm open to both shorts and longs. So what I sent out in the Discord yesterday, on Sunday, was I would like to see us, kind of continue chopping around here a little bit, manipulate down into these, and then move back up towards these highs up here. That would look very good to me, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. But we also have this rejection block here we could use to take out these. So really, we could see this, something like that. That would be not bad either. Or, price could just come up, take these out, and then use this as liquidity. Or we could just leave, one side or the other. But that's kind of the basis I'm going into the day with, is we have both sides of the market. We have nice draws on liquidity for us to target. So that's kind of the high time frame narrative that we have. Now, if we go into the hourly time frame, you're going to see it start to make a little bit more sense, okay? First of all, we have this hourly gap here and this hourly gap here, which we could use, obviously, to take shorts downwards, right? That's pretty much all we have on the hourly time frame. There's not too much else. We got a break structure here. We have a CISD right here. So yeah, we look like we're bearish, but we definitely could be bullish to these equal highs. We have also retraced down to, a healthy place here. So we could see longs, right? Again, this is why today was a little bit tricky, but there was still good setups. But you could have been both long bias and short bias. That's why it was a little bit tricky. But anyway, so that's kind of what we're seeing on the hourly time frame. Again, take note of this hourly gap and this hourly gap. Yeah. On the 15-minute time frame, the very first trade that we have here is we have this 15-minute gap here. Now, why this 15-minute gap? Well, this one here is not a gap, so there's no gap right here. This is the only 15-minute we have, literally in this whole price leg, except for up here, which we've already rebalanced. So in terms of liquidity off open, this is a pretty decent liquidity pool, right? And if we're bearish down towards this rejection block or these equal lows down here, then price might want to use this 15-minute gap, right? So that's what I'm seeing on open, which is right here on my cursor, this vertical line here. So clearly, let's go into the 1-minute time frame real quick. Actually, we'll do the 5 first. On open, we manipulate straight up into this gap, right? Then what do? We get a very nice rejection all the way down here. We close below these lows, so it looks like we might want to continue down to this 4-hour rejection block. So what do? Pull this Fibonacci from the high down to the low, which was, I believe, right here. Well, let's go on the 1 minute and really double check here. Yeah, so we pull it from the high right up here to the low right here. And what does price do? Right, so let me back it up so you can see where we were at. This is what price looked like. We had that 5-minute rejection block here, which I'll show you again. We get this nice rejection. We get this out of this 15-minute gap. So this wick right here becomes a 5-minute rejection block. So then we pull our Fibonacci from the high to the low, and you can see in discount is pretty much aligned with this rejection block here. So you could then set your limit order and put your stop loss just above the CE or the 7A6, whichever one's more discounted. And in this instance, this 5-minute CE is more discounted than the 7A6. So you put it above that, right? So it's right up here, which gives this a 24-point stop loss about. You could have tightened it even more to a 20 if you wanted. Right here, that's valid as well. And then let's see how it plays out, right? Price comes up, wicks us in perfectly. Now we're in a nice position, right? We're currently 54 points in profit. You could have really just taken your TP right at this low if you wanted, and it would have been a nice 1 to almost 4, right? I normally aim for like a 1 to 5, but let's see. So price takes this out. That could have been your TP, and then we get tapped in again if you didn't take that one. But at this point, the trade's kind of over. I would have been out break even. So that's the first valid trade you could have taken, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and get out of replay now. So that was the first trade, right? That short out of this 15-minute gap. Then the next decently valid trade would have been this long here off of 10 a.m. open. So how do we actually take this trade, and why is it valid? The main reason that it is valid is because we have these equal highs right here, up here, sorry. Face can't be getting in the way. But we have these equal highs up here for a nice draw on liquidity. So 10 a.m., or what you can see is we opened and we manipulated down lower, right? So this you could have considered our Judas swing. If you don't know what a Judas swing is, I suggest you look into it. But basically, whenever market opens, which for me is 8:30, we get a manipulation move in one direction, and then we end up trading in the opposite direction. So you could have saw this as our manipulation downwards so that we could go higher. So whenever 10 a.m. finally opened, which again for me is 9 a.m., but it's the 10 a.m. candle for New York time. But the candle opens and we get a move to the downside, which is about 18 points, right? So we have an 18-point manipulation below 10 a.m. open, which that's, enough. It's not ideal, but it's enough. And so now once we close back above this open here and we get this nice closure, you could just enter on 10 a.m. and target longs. I saw a lot of people do this. And I don't think it's a super valid trade, but it's decent because, again, we have this hourly gap above us, and we have these equal highs all the way up here, right? Clearly it doesn't go up here, but you could have just taken profit at this 1 hour gap for a 1 to 4. If you would have put your stop loss, I don't know, at the CE, it could have been even closer to a 1 to 5, 1 to 6. But I saw people saying that this candle right here was a 1-minute rejection block, but it's not. You could consider it, and the only reason you could consider it is because we have a 1-minute gap right here. And this candle here is a 1-minute rejection block, okay? This one right here. That's a 1-minute rejection block because we reacted out of this fair value gap. Now, this candle right here, in my opinion, is not really a rejection block. The reason why is it didn't react out of any PD array and it didn't sweep any liquidity. You could say it reacted out of this 1-minute rejection block, so it's a rejection block out of a rejection block. But again, this is all super low time frame on the 1 minute. I wouldn't really want to consider this to be a 1-minute rejection block that only reacted out of a 1-minute rejection block, right? It just is not ideal for me. So I would not have considered this to be a 1-minute RB, but some people did, and so they went ahead and they longed, like right here, or 10 a.m. open, either one. And they had their stop here and targeted higher prices, which, I mean, again, I guess it's valid because we had the equal highs above us, but not something I personally was looking to take. However, this second trade here was much better in my opinion, which was this here. With your stop below this wick, bang, like a 10-point stop, target midnight open for a 1 to 6. Could have obviously tried to hold up here for the equal highs, and it would have been a huge trade. It didn't get hit, but you could have held to this high as well, or the 1 hour gap. But the reason I think this trade is more valid is, first of all, the reason we don't pull the Fibonacci from this low to this high here is because we didn't really manipulate into anything, right? It's just a random low. So there's nothing really to do. However, I believe on the 5-minute, 15 maybe, nah, but this low right here was an SMT, okay? So the reason I would pull the Fibonacci now from this low to this high is because we have an SMT at these lows here. So this is a manipulated low now. You can pull it from this low to this high. 618 aligns pretty well with its name open, so it's a much better limit to limit this level now. And you can see it literally bottom ticks the 10 a.m. open. So just bang, right off here, straight up, 1 to 6 played out. I think this was a much more valid trade than the original 10 a.m. long. This one, I guess, is okay because you have a good draw on liquidity. We've manipulated below it, and it's just a flip and retest. It just doesn't have, any other confluence. But this one here at least has a very nice golden pocket aligned, right? From the SMT low to the high, boom, 618. It's in a nice discount. Stop below the 786, the 705. It'd be better to have your stop down here, but it kind of kills your RR. So that's a pretty valid trade as well. Now, I personally didn't take any of those trades. I'm just recapping the ones that were valid. The trade I personally did take and it absolutely banged. Also, before I get to that, this trade here is on MNQ. It did not play out on NQ because NQ's 10 a.m. open is right here. And you can see we never came down and tapped it again. So this only played out on MNQ. But again, I didn't take it, so it doesn't really matter. I'm just recapping valid trades. But now, this is the trade I actually did take, okay? So here on the we'll go back to the hourly, right? What do we have? This hourly gap up here. On top of that, if you pull the Fibonacci from the high to the low, you can see the 618 aligns very beautifully with this 1 hour gap. So this is a very nice 1 hour gap in my opinion. Now if we go down into the 5 minute, you'll see price came up. And also, again, remember I said we had, 18 points of manipulations at the downside. Well, it's valid. It's not ideal. So in my head, we have 4 hour rejection block and these equal lows down here. And we don't have great manipulation below 10 a.m. open. We have enough, but it's not great. Then we have a beautiful 1 hour fair value gap that's bearish, aligning with the 618 of this leg down. We've already had a change in state of delivery on the hourly. We've already, inversed the fair value gap, all these things. So I'm open to shorts, okay? So once we tap up into this 1 hour fair value gap, I'm looking for potential shorts. And what do we get is a beautiful rejection block right here. So let's go back so we can see it. So for context, we've now pushed above midnight open, and then we close back down below it. So clearly we look like we're starting to be bearish because we didn't hold midnight open. We closed back down below it, okay? And we get a very nice 5 minute wick out of this 1 hour gap. So I mark out this rejection block right here. Midpoint on so we can see the CE. Here's our rejection block, right? Now if we go down into the 1 minute time frame, what we also see here is we have this 1 minute fair value gap, which we have just inversed and closed below. So that's more confirmation that we want to see shorts play out at least down to this low here, right? So we can now pull our Fibonacci from this high to the low, and you can see the 618 aligns pretty perfectly with the start of that 5 minute RB, and the 786 aligns with the CE. So we can place our short entry at the start of this rejection block with our stop loss just above the CE, which is a 10-point stop loss. I personally went a little bit wider, like a 15, but a 10-point stop loss is totally valid in this case. So here's our trade, targeting 10 a.m. open. So this looks really good because, again, we have all those confluence I've talked about. We're trading out of this 1 hour fair value gap that we've respected. We got a beautiful close below midnight open. We've just inversed this 1 minute fair value gap. We're trading, if we come up here, it'll be an OTE, and it's a 5 minute RB. Stop is above CE, okay? So I'll go ahead and place this entry here. See about 4 contracts. No, 5, no, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. How many do you want to do? 8. You could literally do 10 because it's a 10-point stop loss. We're seeing $200 here to make 1.5K, okay? See, I'll go ahead and delete this now because we know where we're at in OTE. Price tags us in right here. Get very little amount of drawdown, so it's not very scary. Of course, it's a little bit scary because we have a huge bullish 25 point candle, but you can see price respects it. We go break even right here at this internal low, which we're also tapping weekly open. You can see price just flushes straight down. Boom. Full TP hit, 10 a.m. open. Bang. So that is, that's the trade I took. Bang. That was the one and done for the day. Now, we just recapped the trade that it just went into, right? So you could have done that and then completely reversed your position and longed off of this, right? That's the other trade. And that was totally valid as well. But those are all of the trades you could have taken, right? So you have that one. You have this one that I just took right here. Bang. And you had the original shorts, which was like right here. Somewhere in here, right? And you also have the original 10 a.m., which I didn't really love, but valid trade, I guess. So those are the 4 setups that you could have taken today. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video. I'm going to cut it off here because it's been kind of a long video. But yeah, those are the 4 valid trades. The only one I actually took was this short right here, which was beautiful. So hopefully you guys got something out of this video here. And let me know if you guys caught any trades today. And definitely drop a like. It's been helping a lot. But again, that's all I've got for this video. Hopefully you guys got something. If you have any questions, put them down below in the comments. Put the trades you took down below. Please drop a like on these videos. And that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm out. Peace.